Coming to the diagnostic criteria, when you call the child is obese. So, if the body mass index is more than 95% for the age, or the weight for height, that is more than 120%, that is, it is useful mostly in less than 2 years of age. And if you see the skin fold thickness, that is measured in subscapular, triceps or biceps regions when it is more than 85%, and the waist circumference and waist hip ratio if it is more than 75%. So, obesity, if you see, it is not merely the excess weight, it is basically an excessive fat deposition. So, that's why these are all the markers which came into play, like body mass index, weight for height, skin fold thickness and waist circumference. If you see, how will you calculate the waist circumference? It is between the iliac crest and the rib cage. That is a waist circumference. The hip circumference is the maximum protuberance of the buttocks. So, these two things for the abdominal adiposity. So, what are all the causes? Causes for obesity. If you see, the most common causes for childhood obesity is mainly 3. That is, the most common causes: nutritional cause. Okay. So, the nutritional cause is the foremost cause for the obesity, and second is genetic. Okay, genetic causes is second, and third is endocrinological. So, when a child is obese, these 3 factors first you have to find out. Okay, so of this the major thing is nutritional, that is constitutional. It may be because of decreased activity or altered food eating habit. Like if you see, junk foods and high glycemic index foods will be the major component in their diet, and if you see, they will be eating a fat rich diet and binge eating, and the activity will be like sedentary lifestyle, television watching will be more. So, these are all the causes for the obesity. And if you see, the second common cause is genetic syndromes like Prader-Willi syndrome, this Lawrence Moon Beetle-Bardet syndrome, Beckwith-Wiedemann and glycogen storage disorders. So, this is the genetic syndromes comes to second line. Third is because of endocrinological causes, may be due to Cushing syndrome, growth hormone deficiency and hypothyroidism. So, just to easy to remember, I have just split up the etiology from A to I. Okay. So, this is the etiology. So, what are all the types of obesity? If you see, based upon the fat distribution, it is either generalized obesity or android type obesity. Android means the more fat deposition will be near the chest and waist area. Gynoid means more towards the hip and thighs. And central obesity is mainly face, neck and upper trunk. So, based upon the fat distribution, we can diagnose like what may be the underlying cause. And also based upon the waist-hip ratio. This waist-hip ratio, if it is, as I already told, no, waist-hip ratio is waist circumference divided by hip circumference. So, if it is less than or equal to 0.8, it may be pear-shaped, or apple-shaped means it is more than or equal to 0.9. And based upon the etiology, whether it is exogenous or endogenous. Exogenous is, again, it is mostly nutritional cause. Endogenous is underlying medical condition. So, based upon the fat distribution or waist-hip ratio and etiology, we can classify the type of obesity. So, in general, the constitutional obesity is more physiological and second thing is pathological. So, most children with obesity do not have any organic cause. It is mainly there is an imbalance between the energy intake and the expenditure. So, if you see, the growth rate and the skeletal maturation will be normal in those kids. Okay, even though they are obese, their height will not be affected. They will be tall only. So, this itself rules out whether it is physiological or pathological. So, they have a proportional obesity in the sense the fat distribution will be generalized, whereas in pathological there will be more central obesity. Okay. So, that is an important criteria, whether the growth rate and the skeletal maturation is normal and the fat deposition is generalized, then the pointers towards the more physiological, that is nutritional cause. And pathological is central obesity and the growth rate will be retarded and skeletal maturation also may be retarded. The child may show some dysmorphic features or some endocrinological causes. So, that differentiate between constitutional and pathological. So, what are all the common causes of pathological obesity? These are all the common syndromes.